On behalf of the Hall of Fame Committee, I extend our appreciation to all of you for joining in this opportunity to celebrate the special men and women who have helped shape and grow our sport. This year's inductees will be joining a very elite group of prior inductees. Will all current Hall of Fame members please stand? The SASS Western Heritage Museum and Cowboy Action Shooting Hall of Fame was developed to remember its history and pay tribute to those who have shaped this game of both competition and fun. So how does one get admitted to the Hall of Fame? There is a process, and it's through a process of the Hall of Fame committee member nominations and discussions. The Hall of Fame committee is made up of the Wild Bunch, the longtime members of SASS who evaluate each nominee based upon his or her long-term dedication and creativity, as well as achievement in the overall sport of cowboy action shooting. Through this process, inductees are chosen, and they represent the champions of our sport, our role models. Today, we are adding our 2014 inductees to the Hall of Fame, thereby adding a record of their legacy to the game that preserves our great American cowboy heritage. This is a terrific reason for all of us to celebrate. Now, please join me in offering our sincere congratulations to each of the deserving inductees.
Through his efforts as a territorial governor, match director, competitor, recruiter, vendor, match sponsor, and contributor to the Cowboy Chronicle, Chuckaroo's influence on cowboy action shooting can be felt everywhere across the country. Introduced to cowboy action shooting in 1996, he soon formed the Damascus Wildlife Rangers. 99 shooters attended the first match in 1998, and in 2000 they hosted the first Maryland State Championship, Thunder Valley Days. As territorial governor and match director since the club's inception, Chuckaroo has herded the Damascus Wildlife Rangers through 17 years, 153 matches, and all 15 Maryland State Championships. In 1999, Chuckaroo created a new shooters clinic, introducing future cowboys and cowgirls to all aspects of the sport. Between his time as an official SASS recruiter and his clinic, he has introduced thousands to cowboy action shooting. In 2002, the Northeast Regional relocated to Thurmont, Maryland. Renamed the Mason-Dixon Stampede, Chuckaroo served as match director from 2002 to 2011. And in 2008, the Stampede was named SASS Match of the Year. At the SASS convention and elsewhere, he freely shares his knowledge and experiences and keeps the cowboys in Maryland and surrounding states informed by sending a weekly newsletter, Cowboy This Week, to over 700 SASS members. Chuckaroo was named SASS Territorial Governor of the Year in 2006. Never one to miss an opportunity to promote cowboy action shooting, Chuckaroo appeared with Gunny in the pilot episode of Gunny's History Channel show, Lock and Load. He also convinced Comcast to make a half-hour TV show featuring the Maryland State Championship and even did the voiceover commentary. Fighting the never-ending stream of anti-gun legislation, Chuckaroo has testified before the Maryland legislature on numerous occasions. Dressed in full cowboy gear, he wrangled a hearing with the Maryland Handgun Roster Board, leading to the approval of the first Derringer legal for sale in Maryland. Through it all, Chuckaroo never forgot that fun should be part of cowboy action shooting. He has sacrificed his opportunity to compete in numerous matches, making sure all the other attendees have a great time. Chuckaroo's activism in recruiting, teaching, publicity, and political arenas has had a profound and lasting effect on SASS and cowboy action shooting. SASS is therefore proud to induct Chuckaroo into the SASS Cowboy Action Hall of Fame this January 2015.
That was a good choice. And to present 2014's first inductee, Judge Roy Bean, SASS number 1.
Boy, do I have some stories to tell about him, but I notice there's ladies in the audience, so I think I'll keep it clean. The thing I've always admired about Chuckaroo is when you go to one of his matches, he makes you personally feel welcome. It's not just me, it's everybody I talk to. He makes an effort to make everybody feel like they're the most important person at that match. And then every time you see him at any function, he's working. I mean, here, in the trail, everywhere he goes, man, the first thing he does, he goes and finds a job and does it. He's never asked for thank you or made a big thing of it. He's one of those silent people that just gets it done, and without him, this whole organization would grind to a halt without people like him. But really, all the things he's done, they're nothing. What he's really famous for is 4 little words. I love you, man. Chuckaroo, come on up. I love you, man.
I love you too.
Yeah, no.
Parts of that I agree with. I am truly humbled and pretty much without words. I didn't plan anything because I usually wing it, but to be included in this small group of inductees, past and present, it's just beyond my own comprehension. I'm very honored to be here. It'd be unfortunate for me if I didn't thank some people. One of them's my spouse, and if I do the math right, God help me, I'm right, it's 46 years, Sassy Button Bowes. She has allowed me to do what I do and play like I like to play. Puts up with a lot. The Isaac Walton League in Maryland supports our club. All of the money we make from our Maryland State shoot and our monthly shoots goes to them. And over the last 15 or so years, we've given over $250,000 to them for their conservation efforts. And that's a very rewarding thing as well. And to be here in front of you tonight and accept this, it's truly an honor, and I thank you.
In January 1995, Heather Kresser saw a 5-minute Cowboy action video. Heather needed an alias. That was settled on January 18th when she cut off her right pinky in a construction accident. A blend of morphine, a friend's nickname for her, and one last finger resulted in Half a Hand Henry. Since then, Dirty Dan and Henry have competed in 14 winter ranges, an end of trails, 11 regionals, and dozens of state matches in 25 different states. Henry's love for shooting developed while hunting with her dad and brothers, teaching firearm safety as a teenager at a fish and game conservation camp, becoming the Hunter Firearm Safety Coordinator for the New Hampshire Department of Game and Fish, competitive pistol shooting with the Vermont Department of Fish and Game, and bird hunting over family dogs. It was love at first sight when she competed at her first Cowboy action match in May 1996. Half-a-Hand Henry's objective from the beginning has been to promote our nation's Second Amendment rights by representing competitive shooters, hunters, and gun owners in a positive light as she teaches and shoots across the U.S. A personal goal is to win a SASS world title in 10 different shooting categories. The favorite moments in cowboy action shooting occur for Half-a-Hand Henry when her students earn their first category wins in a major competition. It brings her to tears when her students win their first state, regional, national, and world titles. Working towards her personal goal, Henry has won 8 state, 5 regional, 11 national, world championships in 8 different categories, plus 3 Wild Bunch national and 4 Wild Bunch world championships in 2 different categories, and has been high overall shooter at 4 state championship matches. Aside from being a top competitor and a mentor to aspiring shooters, Half-a-Hand Henry is also known far and wide as the Barefoot Lady, shooting without benefit of shoes, boots, or moccasins on nearly every imaginable shooting range. Half-a-Hand Henry's motto is, if you want to be a champion, you have to act like a champion. She strives to achieve this everywhere she goes. Half-a-Hand's ability to compete at world-class levels in so many different categories, and her willingness to teach and support pro-Second Amendment political activities has had a significant and long-lasting effect on SASS and cowboy action shooting. SASS is proud to induct Half-a-Hand Henry into the SASS Cowboy Action Hall of Fame, January 2015.
And to present our next inductee, Tex.
I first met Half-a-Hand many years ago when we shot on the same posse at Winter Range. She caught my attention immediately. She was a stranger, she was a barefoot lady, and she was shooting gunfighter. We quickly developed a friendship which I'm proud to say still lasts to this day. And of course I have to be nice to her because she shoots so much better than I do. You know, I have many heroes, and they all have the same characteristics. They're talented, they're willing to experiment and try new things, and they have robust egos. Well, that allow them to occasionally fail, but then continue to persevere until they reach their goals. Today, we have many champions, and they're all to be admired. They've worked long and hard to develop their talents and their wins. However, most never venture too far from their comfort zone. To do so would likely put their match scores on page 6 instead of near the top of page 1 where it's expected to be. That's hard for most folks, but not all. My heroes are willing to work hard and master their shooting category and then move on to other categories, struggling sometimes, but ultimately mastering the discipline. Lucky Smucky won 3 different end of trail categories, and overall he won overall 2 times or 3 times in 2 different categories. Mad Mike from Nevada managed to buckle at end of trail in 10 different categories. And Half-a-Hand is following in these same footsteps. While she has many years of competitive shooting in front of her and an impressive record of end of trail wins, she has an impressive record of end of trail wins in 8 different categories. And that earns her my admiration and assures her a place in the Cowboy Action Shooting Hall of Fame. Come on up.
No. Thank you. It truly is an honor and extremely humbling to stand before this group of people, and especially the SASS Hall of Famers that are here from before. It's, they're big footsteps. And Hipshot told me that the only way I could ever even come close to filling those footsteps is if I took my shoes off. So I did. This is an amazing group of people. We don't choose who we are born into, but we choose our families. And I'm looking at my family right here, or a small portion of them. Holy Terror years ago wrote an article in the Chronicle, back when people read it, saying that this has become a way of life for a lot of people. And she said, you know, a lot of people have changed every item of clothing in their closets to cowboy clothes. Some people spend all their weekends cowboy shooting. Some people even sell their homes and move across the country so they can play this game. Guilty. Guilty. This is an amazing group of people. Our very first regional was one put on by Chuckaroo. And we found out what a big match was supposed to be like. Every one of us has been at a big match and had a gun break and in tears gone running to Jim Bowie. And his answer always is, what time do you shoot tomorrow? Well, 7:30 and my gun's broken. It'll be ready. And it is. It is. We've all looked at the wire and seen somebody put in a what's the call. And then we sit there and wait because you know that sooner or later Pale Wolf is going to come in there and finally tell us what the answer is after we've all tripped over our tongues. Two sons, 2003. I think I finally won a big match. And I'm standing there trying to calculate the numbers. And this lady comes and spins me around and beats her hat into my chest and says, who are you and where the hell did you come from? My goal for SASS, for all of us, is to get these kids into this game so that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we can go spin some kid around and say, who are you and where the hell did you come up from? Because I want to be a little old fat lady shooting this game for years to come. Thank you.
In 2002, Jim Bowie, SASS Life number 4775, and TL, SASS Life number 5365, opened the Cowboys and Indians store in Santa Ana, California. As a competitive shooter, Jim knew the guns used in cowboy action were never intended to be shot as much, as hard, or as fast as SASS Cowboys demanded. He is the original designer of the Marlin Cowboy rifle one-piece firing pin. When the 1866 and 1873 rifles gained in popularity, he dreamed of making them go faster and be more reliable for cowboy action shooting. Along with TL, he designed the first short stroke kit for these rifles in 2003. As time went on, Jim refined the short stroke kits, adding the 3rd generation, 4th generation, and finally the 5th generation kit. These modifications literally changed the game, making it possible for the shooter today to shoot stage times that were unimaginable only a dozen years ago. Jim Bowie grew up on a farm in Texas. When he was invited to join the Army in 1960, he worked on guns, particularly 1897 shotguns. In 1994, he began shooting with the Kodo Cowboys in Southern California. Jim soon started winning the senior category in local, state, and regional matches and won overall in a cowboy match against the Los Angeles Police Department. He won National Senior Champion in 1999 and 2001 and World Senior Champion in 2000. Today, you will find Jim Bowie's rolling shop at many local, state, and regional matches, as well as winter range and end of trail. Many is the shooter who has run up to his window in the middle of a match, gun in hand, anguished expression on their face, and left with a smile and a smooth, repaired gun ready for the next stage. Jim has taught several classes each year at the SASS Las Vegas Convention: gun care and maintenance, how to disassemble and reassemble your 66-73 rifles, the Marlin Cowboy rifle, and the 1897 Winchester pump shotgun. But the most remembered class is gun care, as years later, many of the attendees say thank you for what they learned in that class. Jim was awarded the coveted SASS Regulator Badge in 2009 and has done more to make the game of cowboy action shooting enjoyable and faster than any who have gone before him. Jim's innovative improvements to the old cowboy rifles have had a profound and game-changing effect on SASS and cowboy action shooting. SASS is proud to induct Cowboys and Indian Store, Jim Bowie, proprietor, into the SASS Cowboy Action Shooting Hall of Fame, January 2015.
SASS number 4.
Cowboys and Indian Store opened in 2002. It wasn't the first cowboy-oriented gun shop, but it quickly became the cowboy gun shop. They've got a complete machine shop, including TIG welding, and they have always specialized in repairing and improving all cowboy firearms. They carry a full line of products, including 73 extractors, firing pins, and carriers, as well as Ruger spring kits, stainless steel followers for all rifles, and rifle and shotgun spring kits. But this is all to be expected of any full-service gun shop. Cowboys and Indian Store went well beyond that. Now, understand, a store can't do anything on its own. It's the people in the store that make things happen. Many have contributed, but Jim Bowie, proprietor, is the guy who led and managed the entire effort. Cowboys and Indian Store, through Jim's efforts, has earned its place in the Cowboy Action Shooting Hall of Fame through the invention and introduction of the Model 3 short stroke kit. This innovation has changed the game of cowboy action shooting in a profound and lasting way. The game will never be the same as it used to be. Jim, come on up.
Thank you. I have to agree with this young lady over here, half a hand Henry. You guys are, how can I say this, the most honest, God-fearing people anybody could be associated with. You really are. Anyway, they said I had to get up here and talk for 2 minutes. And somebody prepared a speech for me, but I probably won't use it. But anyway, there's a few people I'd like to thank, each and every person in this room. I can't read. But first and foremost, I would like to thank God for my given talents to share with you people. This is very emotional. I shouldn't do this. Can't even read. Anyway, there's a few people I would really like to thank, and unfortunately you couldn't be here, and that's TL, Terry Miller, my partner. Terry retired and moved away 6-7 years ago, but he has still remained a very important part of our store. So he's been one heck of a partner. We couldn't have done what we do without his input, and he's been involved in everything we've ever done there. There's two other people that really kind of helped shape what I have done. A guy by the name, not too many people probably know him, but just plain Bill. And then a guy by Marshall Harlan Wolf, very instrumental in helping me, do what we do 10, 15 years ago. So a very special thanks to those people. I don't know if I can talk to him tonight, so let me whip this thing
You
out.
don't have to. You don't have to.
That's supposed to be from the movie. While I'm up here, I've got the time, I'm going to take advantage and sell something. I'd like you guys to know, and you can talk to me later about this, we're making a replacement lever for the 66 and 73. It's a billet lever. You can't break it. And we're also making a replacement lever, a bolt and pin extension for the 66, 73 in both calibers. So if you'd like, come and see me later. But once again, I'd like to thank everybody for this unbelievable opportunity to kind of say thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, it isn't what I meant to say, JP, but that's the way it goes. Thank you very much.
Pale Wolf Brunel has been actively involved in cowboy action shooting since 1991 as an active competitor, territorial governor for multiple clubs, range officer, and as a key respected member of the SASS Range Operations Committee. He was the first recipient of the Best Territorial Governor Woolley Award at the 2002 SASS Convention. He is a SASS regulator and belongs to half a dozen different cowboy action clubs in the Pacific Northwest. Pale Wolf is the Pacific Northwest Regional Chief Range Officer Instructor and oversees the qualification of new SASS Range Officer Instructors for that area. He regularly competes in numerous cowboy action categories as well as wild bunch and is a very competitive shooter, winning numerous categories at the local, annual, state, regional, national, and world championship levels. Pale Wolf is a key member of the Range Operations Committee. He is its day-to-day spokesperson, answering SASS rule questions from the wire. He is also the most knowledgeable of all the SASS Range Operations personnel regarding SASS rules. Whenever a question arises, it is Pale Wolf who has the definitive answer, along with page and paragraph references. When there is any question as to the correct response, he is always consistent in querying the other members of the Range Operations Committee to ensure consensus reply. His knowledge has been invaluable in the guiding Range Operations Committee through many of its discussions. His intimate knowledge of the rules has allowed him to play key supporting roles for both Winter Range as well as End of Trail. He regularly participates at Winter Range, SASS National Championship, as a posse marshal and range officer. He has also participated in the SASS World Championship, End of Trail, for the past 20 years, serving as a range master for this event intermittently since 2003. His influence within the Range Operations Committee has had a lasting impact on SASS and the game of cowboy action shooting. SASS is proud to induct Pale Wolf Brunel into the SASS Cowboy Action Hall of Fame, January 2015.
And for the next presentation, Hip Shop, SASS number 7.
Well, you could tell by the pictures that he liked smoke. He never had the same guns in his hands twice in any of those pictures. He was a great competitor, but he really liked shooting all the different guns. So that meant he never got really, really good with any one of them. I've known him about as long as he's been a SASS member, and he's been real valuable to me at End of Trail, because as match director for 25 years, I finally got to a point where I had some people that I stepped in to get between me and the shooters. So you had to get through this arbitration committee of 3 people that knew the rules better than anybody to be able to get to me, or in some cases to get to Coyote Calhoun. And when you got a guy standing there with a 3-ring binder this thick, full of the rules, and somebody says, well, they called me on this penalty, what are you going to do? And he opens the book and says, well, here's what you did and here's what it says you get. it's pretty cut and dried, and nobody ever got through him to me, so that was a very, very great godsend. He was a great guy. He's undergoing some health issues right now that he's, with any luck, is going to get resolved here in the very near future, which is why he's staying close to home. So Ricochet Robbie's going to accept on his behalf. She got a story for you.
Oh, yeah. I could pretty much ditto everything that Hipshot has just said. Pale Wolf was invaluable to us in the Pacific Northwest for the Northwest Regional for 5 years as our range master. He provided the same service he provided him, and we are proud to accept this award on behalf of Pale Wolf in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you very much.
Two Sons was born and raised in Danville, Illinois. Growing up, she watched all the Western movies with Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, The Lone Ranger, Tonto, and many other childhood heroes. When she was 5 years old, she followed her dad into the cornfields to hunt pheasant, tripping over corn stalks as she tried to keep up. Hunting, trap, skeet, and sporting clays matured Two Sons' shooting skills over the years, and she ultimately became very active in numerous shooting organizations where she competed at the highest levels and provided expert instruction for both men and women. In 1995, she and her husband, Old Short Tom, were introduced to SASS Cowboy Action Shooting. Two Sons' first cowboy shoot was at Modoc Club in Indiana. Her first stage started with the shotgun, and she was feeling pretty confident because she'd been an expert claybird shooter for years. However, when the RO asked her if she was ready, she yelled, "Ho!" Everything stopped because everyone was laughing. Wrong game. But she finished the day and had a lot of fun. Since then, Two Sons has competed in cowboy action at the very highest levels. She is the 8-time reigning Lady Senior and Silver Senior World Champion 2006 to 2013. In addition to multiple national category championships, she has twice been the High Overall Lady, the Sweet 16 Cowgirl Champion, and twice the High Overall Cowgirl Wild Bunch Champion at Winter Range. And there is a long list of first place and high overall wins at annual, state, and regional matches all over the country. She and Old Short Tom have shot at some 76 different cowboy action clubs throughout the United States. She likes to help new shooters feel comfortable in the posse. She remembers what it was like to be a beginner and enjoys giving others encouragement and helping them learn the game. She believes SASS is a different shooting sport than others because it is friendly and families can enjoy the sport together. Her philosophy is attitude and sportsmanship are the most important aspects of the game. Because of her fabulous shooting career and her willingness to help new shooters, Two Sons has had a lasting impact on SASS and cowboy action shooting. SASS is proud to induct Two Sons into the SASS Cowboy Action Hall of Fame, January 2015.
And to present our next inductee, Justice Lily Kay, SASS number 1000.
Thanks, Jerry. I've always said, damn, I wish I could shoot like her. I don't think I will ever be able to, but I've always admired her. I knew Two Sons before I ever knew her. Judge told me more than one time, this is a woman to watch, okay? She shoots well, and she can handle those young whippersnappers in the Sweet 16 shoot-off. And then I really knew she was special when the judge said, come here, I want you to meet someone. Took me over and introduced me to her. You know, Judge is one of those, you know, he's kind of retrospective, but he really has always admired Two Sons, and because he did, of course, I did. Now, what she doesn't know is that two of her really good friends, Sue King and Deb Cleverden, are also very good friends of mine. In fact, Deb Cleverden is my cousin. Something else you need to know is she makes some really good biscuits. She's very close to her sons, 2 sons, hence the alias, duh, okay. And the boys always wanted her to make biscuits because she either burned them, or by the time she left, or later in the morning, they would just be hard as rocks. And then she and old short Tom would come home, and the boys would be out in the yard using them for shotgun targets. So I think that's just absolutely wonderful. Something else you don't know about her? She is one mean dirt bike rider. Furthermore, she loves, paintball. Paintball. One thing she told me was that, and I could always relate with her, she was very close to her boys. I have 2 boys. I'm close. It's one of those things that mothers have with boys. She continues to dominate the senior ladies category, and so it is with utmost respect and great pleasure that we're presenting 2 sons, Hall of Fame.
That's fabulous.
Oh, what did we lose?
Oh. Thank you.
You have to say something.
Okay.
I am so proud and honored to be here. Yeah.
Remember my socks?
Yeah.
Okay. She said if I get teared up, show me your socks.
And I want to thank everybody for voting me in. And I need to thank old Short Tom for all the ammo you've loaded, for all the gun work, Sometimes if I have a problem on the line and I come off that line and the gun hasn't worked, he's sweatier than I am. But we were married 50 years this September.
Oh, cool.
And so we've got a lot of miles. We've gone thousands of miles. But I want to thank you for that, Tom. And I've got to, you think back in your early days and when you first started and how you felt. And I never forget this when I'm instructing new shooters, because I remember exactly how I felt out there trying to shoot and have all these heavy clothes on and all that leather and everything. And so I've brought my very first trophy in that I got in November the 8th, 1997, at Rancho del Weldenauer, and that's Lassiter. He used to go out back, dig up the old horseshoes behind the barn, and he welded them together. And it was at Tom's place that we had a monthly match. And so I've always kept it, Tom, because it's an original. Yes. Yes. But this was my first trophy in 1997, and I was so proud of it, and I've kept it all these years. And I've got to say, from Middletown, Ohio, we have 3 3 of us are in the Hall of Fame now, and it's Deadwood and Lassiter and I. I want to thank SASS and all these years, just the friendships that we've made, and all the families that have come in to shoot together. And it's a very unique shooting sport, and it's just wonderful that the Wild Bunch got together one afternoon and had a beer and designed this shooting sport. So thank you very much.